Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Hello and welcome to the socially isolated college kids review of the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Woo, yeah. So it's I'm here, Edison, and I'm here with Zach and Cameron for today.
That's me.
We're
Hello.
gonna be doing a short, review, what we thought about it, and some little missed details that you may have missed, or maybe you didn't. And hopefully we'll have a good time. All right, so what are your initial thoughts about this?
I love it. I thought it was a fantastic opening episode. Um I loved both of the storylines for Falcon and Bucky throughout the course of the episode. I think they're off to a really good start.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I'm in the same boat. I thought it was great. It was different than I thought. I think it's really cool how much we're really getting to dive into these two characters. I mean, I feel like while I was watching, I was just thinking about Falcon and Bucky in other MCU movies, and especially with Falcon, I feel like we really didn't get to see too much of his character. So to really get a three-dimensional look at these two guys, and like,
Mhm.
I thought it was really um really good, and I
Yeah,
loved all the MCU references and tie-ins and everything. I thought it was a really good
yeah.
start as well.
Me too. I was expecting it. I mean, it was going to be good probably no matter what. The MCU stuff is always good, but I was expecting it to be pretty average, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But I was very pleasantly surprised with the depth that they've already gone into with both of the characters.
definitely a tonal shift from WandaVision.
Yeah.
Like,
I
Absolutely,
think
yeah,
very stark contrast from WandaVision.
I loved how
yeah,
they so the way I'm seeing it, it's sort of like a ground view perspective of the MCU. Because normally, right, we see
hmm
it from the other TV shows. You get like Agents of Shield, or if it's like a solo movie, it's like it's Tony Stark. He's this rich guy,
right,
very for the most part, pretty unrealistic. Like I guess characters, but they're still
hmm
grounded
Yeah,
in as being human at some point. But with like Falcon, for example, like comes back after being gone for 5 years, and his sister's struggling to keep the house and their family boat. So it goes into this whole like thing about messing with the bank, um, and it's a really like humanistic approach to superheroes because you're like, oh, I bet Batman
yeah,
has no trouble with the bank or whatever. But to get a character like
right,
Falcon, who's not really hasn't really been used a whole lot in the MCU, and you get this great connection that he has with his sister, with the rest of the people in that town in Louisiana. Um, Even the kids, I thought he had a great reaction or a great connection with his
hmm
nephews.
yeah. I really love that like family
Yeah,
dynamic that was going on there.
it made Falcon a more like relatable and likable character. I'm really excited to see where they go with it.
yeah. And it's the same thing too with Bucky. You Bucky's kind of arc in this first episode is that he's really struggling with the fact that for so many years he was used at this as this kind of weapon of mass destruction. He's done all these
Right.
horrible things, and he
Yeah.
really is struggling with that. And I thought, you know, they really humanized his character and made you empathize with him. And yeah, I think that aspect of the show is something that I was not expecting
Mm,
at all.
Yeah,
So
not at all. And I'm really enjoying what they're doing with it. I definitely agree with the both of you. Um, One thing I really liked was the flashback of the Winter Soldier. I couldn't honestly tell if it was a flashback. Well, I guess it was a nightmare, really, is what it was.
mhm.
But I couldn't tell if it was like a current thing of what he's currently doing, and then to have him kill that one person, right, the guy's son,
Yeah.
um, and then finally like go back to the real world, and he's been spending time with his dad, and trying to make a connection and make things better there is really really quite interesting.
Hmm.
I think that's the sort of thing that I was not at all expecting from this show.
Yeah.
That I'm really liking, and I'm really hoping that they end up keeping.
Because you feel really sorry for
Yeah.
what Bucky went through, and
Right.
the fact that I feel like he's almost punishing himself, or he'll understand later. Someone's going to tell him that he's punishing himself by spending time with the father of whose son he killed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the one, I guess, like thing I'm really curious to see how they touch upon is everyone knows who Bucky is, though, right? They know he was outed as the Winter Soldier.
Was he?
I thought, well, because I thought he was outed at the end of, I think Winter Soldier,
Maybe.
or
I do vaguely remember that.
or maybe
Maybe
Civil
Civil War.
War, yeah. Because I feel like everyone kind of knows who Bucky Barnes is.
Yeah.
And
Well, he certainly was outed as a public threat. In Civil
yeah,
War,
Right.
there was like a whole plot point
Yeah.
about the entire world was searching for him because
yeah,
they thought he was a terrorist.
Right.
Um, it is interesting to see him like out in public and in a bar and stuff, and like
Right.
have him not be recognized as an Avenger. It's similar too with like you feel like after the events of Endgame, like the kind of weight that comes with being an Avenger and an Avenger would be greater. Like when Falcon went to the bank with his sister and was dealing with that kind of really annoying
oh
um,
yeah, he was a total douchebag.
guy that worked there. Like
Yeah.
you'd think that like being an Avenger and having saved the world would garner more respect from people, but the
Yeah.
direction the show is taking is that it might just not have worked out that way, which is kind of really interesting, especially considering
Right.
the aftermaths of the after I can't say that word. Considering the aftermath of the blip, which is I like how I guess the main villain of this show they're kind of setting up is like this kind of like group of people that preferred how life was during the blip, which I think is
Yeah.
super interesting
That
concept.
It's
is
a
really
really cool
interesting.
concept. It's very different from like any faux terrorist group in other shows. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and like, but
Exactly.
like I understand it too because it's like I mean half the people went, and then like people over 5 years established new orders and new ways of life, and then to
Right.
have it
And then
all
it's
come
all
back
brought
is
back.
jarring. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
hmm
It's a really interesting concept.
Yeah. Do we know like the timing of this show yet?
I'd assume
Like
it's right after Endgame.
it's right
I'd
afterwards.
imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, is it happening like at the same time as WandaVision?
That is yet to be seen. I think from this first.
Okay.
I would
Can't really.
imagine it's similar time frame.
Similar. Right. So
Yeah,
it
I'd
is fairly
imagine.
new. Yeah. And it's interesting because we know from the trailers that maybe not the leader, but at least one of the members is
Baron Zemo.
Simo,
Baron Zemo.
Zemo. That's right, Baron
Zemo,
Zemo.
whatever.
So that's kind of interesting that he has. I mean, he almost committed suicide at the end of that movie, but he doesn't because of Black
He,
Panther,
he
right?
stops. He
Talks to him.
stops him from committing suicide.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
He blocks the.
And so it's interesting. Right. It's interesting that what he's going for is almost the exact opposite, right? Because he wanted chaos in that movie. In Civil War, he just wanted complete chaos.
hmm
But now he wants a world that's unified. He wants no more borders, right? That's their whole thing.
hmm
Well,
So to have-
was Zemo in this episode?
He's not in this episode, but he's in the trailers as one of the
Oh yeah.
I think he's. Yeah, I think he's
so-
confirmed to be in the show at some point.
He's for sure going to be in it. I knew that. Yeah.
They also set up at the end of the episode. Obviously, spoiler warnings, whatever.
What, oh, I think we're a little bit
Yeah,
past that.
it's
Past
We'll
that
edit in a
point.
spoiler warning. Hold on. Ready?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
At the end
Spoilers,
of the
spoilers.
episode, Sam, is doing his spy stuff. His sister runs in and she's like, "Oh my god, like you have to see this." They turn on the TV, and then some unnamed politician says, "We have a new
Yeah, the guy from
we have a
the
new Captain
beginning.
America," and it's this. They don't say who it is, which is fine. I know who it
It's
is.
Casey Neistat.
Yeah,
It looks just like Casey Neistat.
it's.
And you can't convince me that it's not.
I think it is.
I know.
It probably
I
is.
know who they're setting up. I believe his name. It's like U.S. agent. He's basically like a rat.
No, I think he does.
Or-
I think he does have a name. I remember.
It's like
reading
it's
about
Wyatt
it, but-
something. It's
Yeah.
I think it's what So it's Wyatt Russell. He's playing.
Wyatt Russell's the
He's
actor.
playing. Yeah, he plays.
Yeah, okay.
What's his face? U.S.
Your
agent.
new
at the end of
Captain
the episode.
America.
I do
The
think
new Captain America.
Yeah, the new Captain America. I do think he has a name. Speaking about Captain America, though, I really like. We see Sam and Rhodes walking through the Captain America museum from. Was that the first Captain America that's in, or is that the second one?
I think it's in.
That was the second one.
The second one.
It wouldn't have been in the
Because
first one.
because it's
in Winter
in
Soldier?
Washington and he goes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting to finally see that museum again. I can't remember. It might have been in some other things, but it looks like they did some updates to it. But it's very recognizable from the first time that we did see it, and I like the addition of that one display with his suit and the shield, and then the shot of Sam in the glass. I think that is a really powerful shot, and I hope there's a lot of framing in this show that is like very interesting and unlike any Marvel movies or really much TV show that I've ever seen, where there's the therapist session, right? Where
that was a great scene. Yeah.
Right, a good majority of it is just like focused on like a very tight shot of the side of their face, it's shot very interestingly. Kind of, I think, to capture how Bucky is tortured by how trapped he is.
Mm-hmm. If they had like zoomed out on the therapist, I would 100% agree. So if it was a close up on his face, and then if they had something where the therapist was like center screen, like zoomed out a little bit, I would say thematically, you can see that Bucky feels like cornered. He feels trapped. All in all, I thought that seemed great. Well, I loved the dynamic that he had with the therapist. The therapist is unironically hilarious because it's a very like natural,
right?
Like, because she's been to war. She had said that she saw a ton of dead bodies, but it was like when she had said, "So after all this fighting, what do you want?" And then he goes, "I want peace." Like, well, that's a load of bullshit. What do you really want? I know that's not true.
Right.
And that for whatever reason, that joke made me laugh pretty hard.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, that was good.
That she was interesting. She was a good character.
Mm.
I do think that maybe because she mentions that you already said this, but she mentions that she was a soldier too, and she is also struggling with some of these things that he, or at least did. So I think that maybe the tight frame on her had something to do with that.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, and quick shout out to the director Kari Skogland. I mean, I think it's super cool that there's all 6 episodes have a female director, and I think that this is a project that I think a lot of people would assume, like I think most people would kind of assume that it's kind of like a male directed thing, and I think it's really cool, especially considering like the recent discussions about like having more female directors in Hollywood, and like I think it's really cool that a project like this was given to a female director to work with, and I think she's doing an excellent job with it so far. So yeah, the direction I thought across the episode was fantastic.
Yeah, I really have been enjoying this so far.
I will say also that I think that I like that Sam, to go with kind of the realistic vibe of this show. I think it was important that Sam was hesitant about taking up Captain America's mantle and like kind of decided that at the moment it wasn't really the right choice for him, and it's something that I think at the end of the episode I think they're kind of implying that he was kind of surprised to see that they kind of got a new guy like so quickly. Mm-hmm. I think there's still kind of toying with the idea of him as maybe becoming Captain America at some point, but I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I like that character arc. I love seeing Rhodey. I wasn't expecting to see Rhodey. He was just
I wasn't
there.
Either. Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, which actually made me think about the fact that WandaVision obviously had, Wanda and Vision, but past that, there were not any big characters from outside of it.
Yeah.
I guess other than what was the doctor?
Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo too. Yeah, but none of the superheroes.
Oh
though,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I mean,
so it was.
Rhodey's an Avenger.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's interesting to think about the fact that there really might be more, and why not have more of them in there? Because, got to use their contract somehow.
I wonder if Don Cheadle will come back in the War Machine armor.
I think he
down
is.
for
I
that.
think that's him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's the main character. He's going to be the main character of that. It's like Armor Wars, right?
No, I was talking about
Yeah.
this show.
Oh, this one? Oh,
I'd
yeah.
love to see him
He is.
in-
getting
Oh, yeah,
it.
100%.
in these 6 episodes suit up at one point.
Yeah.
Because I know that there not only is Zemo coming back from Civil War, but also Peggy's niece, who was like Steve's love interest in Civil War, is coming back. It seems like
Yeah.
the
That was
story
always weird.
of this show will be connected to the events of Civil War and the Captain America trilogy in some way. So like
Mhm.
I think it would be cool to kind of bring Rhodey in. I mean, Rhodey obviously was like kind of the only Avenger to suffer like major injuries from Civil War. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also just think
Yeah.
Don Cheadle, having watched Endgame and Infinity War recently, I feel like Don Cheadle was kind of used in those movies primarily just for like comedic effect and laughs and stuff. And so I would love to see him get to do some like meaty stuff. And I guess he is going to do
Yeah.
that in his own show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. We didn't even mention this, but there's the agent that Sam is working with. I really like him. I don't know him. Is he from any of the movies before him?
I couldn't remember if he was. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I don't.
he
I
might
don't think
be,
he was.
but
He
I
might be,
couldn't
but
remember.
I was really enjoying his acting performance. Actually, I was noting that it felt very real. He felt like just a real person.
Yeah,
which was really
it
interesting.
was funny because he was totally like, oh my gosh, I'm like the guy in the chair for Avenger. And it felt totally natural like the whole time. Like they sort of set up their relationship in that scene where they're at like that cafe or whatever. And
Mhm.
the guy tries to help Sam like fix like Red Wing or whatever he's messing with, and he
Yeah,
like
the
smacks his
yeah.
hand and he's like, "You guys don't know how to fix this." He's like, "Well, yeah, well,
right.
they couldn't fix anything, especially not like Stark level tech."
Yeah. It's funny. It really is interesting because I really don't know a lot about either of these characters, so it's kind of hard to
Yeah, same.
talk about the intricate, like his little pet thing. They said it like once in
So
that one is in Civil
in
War. That's at the
yeah.
beginning when Wanda blows up is the
Yeah.
first time we meet that.
yeah, he like jokes around with it. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly, and he like tries to get Natasha to call it by its name, but I don't remember its name.
Red Wing.
Thanks, Sam.
Don't thank me.
I'm not thinking that thing.
His name is Red Wing.
So it's really interesting to finally get some in-depth character work, and I hope that continues. I'm sure it will continue. So I'm excited for the next episode. I thought it was kind of fun to have French people be the villains at the beginning, because that's not really something that you see very often.
Which actually funny. I think this is the second time they've tied in Captain America characters to fighting villains or fighting French villains specifically.
Yeah. Captain America just hates French people.
He does. Yep.
I guess so.
That's actually the antithesis of this show, is that Captain America's gonna come back to life or come out of hiding wherever he is and just beat up some French people.
Do you guys think Captain America's still alive?
Yes.
I mean,
Think he's on the moon?
maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. if
'Cause
he's on
I
the moon,
think-
but I think he's still alive too.
Well,
my guess.
yeah,
The original
could be on the-
plan, I thought, was like Stan Lee was supposed to play Old Man Captain America.
Hmm.
So then it would have connected all the Stan Lee cameos to Captain America.
Yeah, that would have
that
been
would've
fun.
been-
I think that was either the original plan or one of the plans. And then they just ended up making
Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Right.
I love that idea, but I feel like at the end of Endgame, if Falcon walked up on Stan Lee instead of Chris Evans, it would have taken me right out of it.
Yeah,
I would
that's
have been,
true. Me too.
I
me
wouldn't-
too.
Oh, but it
Wouldn't
would
have been able
have
to
been
take it
so
seriously.
funny.
It would have been funny.
It would have been funny, but
Do you guys think that? I mean, I it might be a stretch, but do you guys think that Chris Evans will show up in the series?
I don't think so. Only budget wise.
No. No, I don't think I will.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty high. I was looking at the budget. It's 150 million, which is the same
Right.
as Detective Pikachu. Watch
There you
our
go.
watch our podcast episode 2 coming out this Monday. But I don't think that he will, because I just don't think they would pay him that much for a cameo in a TV show. But I don't know that for sure.
I also
No.
feel like the implication based on where the series is going is it's like Cap's time is kind of done. Like we're moving
Yeah.
on.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that if you do put him in this, it kind of undermines the
It does. You're right.
right, because then all of a sudden it's about him instead of Bucky and Sam, which is sad.
Yeah.
We did
Just purely for nostalgic purposes, in a future MCU movie, love to have Chris Evans do a cameo of some sort.
yeah, I'm sure he will in a
Same
movie.
thing with RDJ. They will.
Yeah,
At some
they
point.
will. Yeah.
hmm
Well, they are the voices in the What If series, right?
I saw that.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is them, so that's kind of interesting.
I'm excited
We
for that
did
show as well.
mention in passing the Captain America on the Moon. I don't know if this is at all based on the comics, but I do remember when I was playing the Marvel's Avengers game on my PlayStation that Captain America is on the moon, or at least in space. That's where they find him.
So, yeah, in that game, I think the right aim was keeping him in space.
Yeah, and they were using him for the serum
Yeah.
or whatever.
I'm pretty sure there's a base on the moon because there's this area. It's called like the blue side of the moon,
Okay.
which basically means there's oxygen in like the area of the moon. Um, I feel like that's more like Fantastic Four or the Watcher is like related to that. I don't think it's necessarily like the Avengers or Captain America specifically.
Mhm.
Um, Also, Captain America. Yeah, I don't know if he would need to be on the moon because he's like 107, right? Like,
Yeah. Also, why
it'd
would
be,
he be on the
yeah,
moon?
yeah. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's why I thought it would be funny if it was Stan Lee that played Captain America because of I think it was in Guardians Volume 2. They like go past a moon and there's Stan Lee and he's talking to all the Watchers.
Yeah. I remember
I
that.
think I think that was supposed to be a joke at that, or just a joke about Captain America being on the moon. Could be from the games. I don't know.
Hmm. Could be. I don't know that that's canon in any way. So, but I just thought that
I
that
don't
was
know. Yeah.
an interesting connection. Captain America John Walker is the name of the agent that is the new Captain
U.S.
America.
agent. Okay.
Do you guys think
Yeah.
that this is going to be a major character in the series, or do you think that
Yes.
it's just kind of like
I do.
Okay, I will. I'm not,
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Sorry.
I think that it's going to be a power dynamic struggle between Bucky, Sam, and John Wyatt was his
This
name?
new Captain America guy.
John
Mhm.
Walker.
Yeah.
I think that because John Walker, I remember in the comics, John Walker does have super strength, maybe.
It's the super soldier serum.
Because yeah, he did get the super soldier serum, so he theoretically could be the new Captain America. But I don't think he
Interesting.
will be.
I think he's evil in the comics.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do think that it's gonna be kind of a struggle. He could be related to this terrorist group. He also could just want to be Captain America and fight Sam and Bucky for it. I do think ultimately there's no way that Falcon Sam does not end up with the shield, purely for the
Yeah.
fact that Kevin Feige came out and said that if you don't watch the TV shows, you'll be fine and you'll understand the movies. And at the end of Endgame, he got it. He got the shield. So if he doesn't end up with the shield, I would be very surprised. But it could happen.
Yeah, I think if the Captain America character continues after Falcon Winter Soldier, it would have to be Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Assuming he doesn't stick with Falcon, which he might. It kind of seems like that's going to be a central part of the series.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, we'll see how it continues. But as far as a pilot episode goes, this is very good.
Do you guys have any negatives? Any nitpicks?
Not really, to be completely honest with you. I don't think there was anything that I didn't like.
No, I thought it was a good first episode. It was solid.
I think my only thing is again I'm a little slow for listeners playing at home, but I thought I could have used. It felt a little short to me, a little short episode. I could have used another 10 minutes maybe, just like I don't know. I feel like we learned a lot of information about a lot of things in a very short amount of time, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I could have used a little bit more time to kind of ruminate on
Right.
some of what was going on, but
It's about it was 50 minutes, right? Yeah.
well, it was 40 because the 10 minutes of credits.
True. Yeah, I feel like they should have just gone for the full hour,
Yeah.
So like 50 minutes of show. That's one thing about these Disney shows is that the credits are so long
I
that
know.
you really
10
I
minutes
feel
worth of credits at the end.
It's 6 minutes of like end credits, and then there's
it's
nothing at the end of it.
I know, but
It's like
sometimes
50
there
minute
is.
episodes, and you think it's going to be like an hour, and then it's like
Yeah.
actually like kind of closer to a 30-40 minute with like 10 minutes of
Yeah.
credits.
Yeah, because the Marvel logo takes 20 seconds.
I know. They need to tell us when there's
I love
end
the Marvel
credit
logo,
stuff
though.
because
Yeah, it's good.
it is good. Because in WandaVision, I know that the first time I watched, I don't know, episode 7, I think it was, there was an end credit scene, and it was the first one in the series, and I had no idea, and I just skipped it because I'd been skipping the credits because they're 10
Yeah.
minutes long. So if
Yeah.
somebody will notice, and I'll go back and watch, but I do hope that there's some sort of indication that if there is an end credits thing, though I'm sure that'll
Yeah.
be towards the end of the series. As far as intros go, though, first episodes, I do think that this is 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 for me.
It's off to a
Same.
good start.
Excited
I
for
think
week
it's
2.
yeah,
5 out of
Yeah.
5 for me, probably.
Yeah.
it'll be good.
I wish we could have done maybe a more comedic episode, but to be honest, this show has a rather serious tone.
It really does.
So,
Yeah.
I'm digging it though. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll, because you can tell that this episode or this show so far, I would say unlike WandaVision, you can tell that it's a Marvel TV show in the sense that how the action plays out.
Mm-hmm.
The first fight scene was incredible
Yeah.
because he has the scene where he's
Yeah.
fighting everyone in the plane, and then it's this awesome, like, you see Sam use the Falcon suit to almost its full potential. He's dodging missiles, and its whole thing where he's going through the canyon. I thought it was very Marvel-esque.
Yeah.
We're exploring a whole different corner of the MCU.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the
Yeah.
MCU at this point has all these different kind of like, I don't know, like I feel like WandaVision is at one end of the spectrum, and then
Mhm.
Falcon Winter Soldier is at this end, and I think they picked a good 2 shows to start on. I feel.
Certainly. Yeah, I think that it's
Yeah.
really, really starting to open up, and that's exciting. I think.
Yep.
All right. Any last thoughts?
I'm curious if they will give Sam like a pet bird, because I know in the comics that's what Red Wing is. It's an actual falcon that he bought,
Mm.
and they
I
have
doubt
they
it.
have
I
a
doubt it.
Yeah.
they have a telepathic
I doubt it.
communication. That'd be
Yeah.
so cool if they got him a bird.
It would be, but I'm sure
But-
they'll just stick with the robot because it already exists.
See, if they give him the pet bird, what they can do is they can set up the Pet Avengers, because that's actually a whole.
There's
storyline.
absolutely no way the MCU does Pet Avengers.
We're
And
doing
you
the
can-
Pet Avengers, baby.
you can
Pet
quote me on that.
Avengers.
You can quote me on that. There is no way the MCU does the Pet Avengers. I'll
Are
say
you
it.
sure? I mean,
I'm
they
absolutely
Avengers,
positive.
baby.
I'm absolutely positive they will never do the Pet Avengers.
All right,
So-
so we're putting a bet on it right now.
Yeah. Zach and Cameron are gonna go get into the movie industry just to make a Pet Avengers movie, just to prove me wrong.
Yeah, me and Cameron are going to direct a Pet Avengers movie
I bet.
just for this
To
moment.
stick it, yeah, to stick it to me.
Yep.
All right. Well, leave a like down below. Leave a little subscription.
Do it, like it.
And stick around. This coming Monday is our review of Detective Pikachu will be out.
Pikachu.
Full podcast length. Next Friday we'll do episode 2. And then that coming Monday is the Snyder Cut. So if you're excited for that,
Snyder Cut.
we are
Bum,
too.
bum, bum,
Oh
bum.
my god.
Yeah, I just finished watching it. It was really something else.
4
all right.
hours.
Can't
long.
believe I can't believe a giant Torterra sat on all of the Justice League at
And
the very
killed
end.
them
I was
all.
shocked.
It was
Killed all
insane.
I was shocked.
Yeah, I
I was
know.
like,
Zack
wow.
Snyder said
So
there was
much for
going to
the
be
Snyderverse.
Right. He said there was going to be a major cameo that would surprise everybody. I didn't know it would be a
It's
Torterra.
Yeah.
I know.
And then it cuts to the end credits, and then it's Zack Snyder in a white room, and he sits in a chair, and he goes, "So, finished my 4-hour movie. This is it. It's the end.
That's the
No
end.
cameo here.
Yep.
Just
That's
me.
it.
Just me, Zack Snyder."
And this is the end of the video. Bye.